Meteorologist Lisa Green here with a look at what we can expect as we are heading into the rest of the week. And you may see behind me that yes, we do have a new first alert weather day. We just raised a first alert weather day for Friday, specifically more into the afternoon hours and beyond into the nighttime. It could be even late night that we see some strong storms. But this is all part of a week that's going to continue to be active. We've had storms Monday to kick off the week. We had a couple yesterday and more today through the end of the week potentially. So here's a look at the latest. I want to talk about today really quick because we don't want to just ignore the fact that we have the potential for some severe storms both today and Thursday. We're looking at this afternoon and evening. There is a marginal risk, which is a level 1 out of 5, meaning that it's on the lower end of that scale, but still the potential's there for 1 or 2 severe storms that may pop up as we make our way into the afternoon and evening hours. And even in that non-severe thunderstorm area, we'll still see the potential for rain and that possibility for some conditions that could end up being on the stormy side. And so here's a look at our impacts. We're looking at some of these storms producing up to 1-inch diameter hail and wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. So that's a look at our risk for today. We are looking at that timing now as we make our way into the forecast for today. Expect to see storms popping up at some point this afternoon. So we're looking at probably around that 3-4 o'clock time frame, and you can see really 1 or 2 storms. There's one here that the model here is showing us in southwestern parts of our viewing area, back up toward north of Devil's Lake, and then perhaps a couple over around Lake of the Woods. Again, this is one model simulation, so it doesn't necessarily guarantee that's exactly where the isolated storms will pop, but we'll start to notice them at that time. And if you just look at the valley as a whole, the vast majority of us not experiencing anything this afternoon, it's going to be 1 or 2 places. But still, we need to be vigilant because it could be the spot where you are. Temperatures this afternoon getting back into the 80s. And then once we get into tonight, these isolated storm chances continue. Now, you can see that cluster of storms moving through central North Dakota this evening. This is 11 o'clock where I've paused it. We're looking out for the second round potentially for us overnight tonight, moving first late into the Devil's Lake area and then continuing eastward overnight. It weakens as it moves east, but still could wake you up in the morning. And I paused it just as we're starting the valley today. Tomorrow morning, we may still be tracking storms. So we'll be there for you to keep you updated. And then this starts to roll its way to the east, and we see it start to end as we work our way into Thursday. We get kind of a break during the day Thursday, and then Thursday night, yet again, a chance for some storms. So let's talk about risks. Again, we just showed you today's risk. Here's another view of that, a level 1 marginal risk in the most of the valley in the deeper green. Tomorrow, this is a reminder that these risks from the Storm Prediction Center cover a 24-hour period. So today's risk, again, starts at 7 a.m. and goes all the way through the overnight hours into 7 a.m. tomorrow. So then moving into tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m., our risk is marginal for the entire valley, and that continues on overnight Thursday night and into Friday. And then there is that risk for Friday. Most of us are included in a slight risk or level 2 risk, and that's 1 step above the risk that we have for the next couple of days. And again, we're looking at Friday evening being that time frame. So severe weather risk each day this week, but we do have that first alert weather day specifically for Friday because the risk is greater, because we could see greater impacts from some of these storms as well. So let's take a look at Friday now. This is starting Friday morning, some lingering storms from Thursday night still hanging around, and then those move on. And again, I want to stress this is still a couple of days away, so things will likely change, but this gives you a general idea of timing. Moving into the afternoon and into the evening, this is drive time Friday evening. There may not be much going on at that point. It's more for your Friday evening and nighttime plans. This is 8 p.m., starting to see some storms developing and moving through the valley. That continues into your late Friday night. This is 11 p.m., and then that may carry on overnight or at least into the very early morning hours on Saturday. This is 3 a.m. before that starts to move on and we quiet down. So what are we looking at as far as risk is concerned and impacts? Well, you know, it's going to be the risk for the large large hail, perhaps up to ping pong ball size or 1.5-inch diameter hail with some of these storms. Wind gusts to 60 miles per hour. Those are main risks with these kind of events. Could see frequent lightning as well that we'll be watching out for, and that risk will likely increase as moisture lifts in from the south to the north. And again, that's more later in the day and into the nighttime hours for your Friday night. So again, a first alert weather day, especially for Friday evening. Most of the daytime hours are at this point looking pretty good. So a recap of how things are looking over the next few days in our extended planner here. We are talking temperatures that are warm into the 80s, and each day, especially in the afternoon and evening hours, where we see that chance for some storms developing. So if you've got plans on Juneteenth tomorrow, Friday evening is the summer solstice. We'll be getting some summer thunderstorms during that time. Just keep in mind you'll want to stay weather aware. You can always keep up to date on the VNL weather app. And a reminder, with some of these storms, we do have the potential for severe overnight. So have multiple ways to be alerted to severe weather during these events, so you can be woken up so you can head to your safe space. One other thing I want to mention is that once the storm threat ends by Friday, we're watching out for heat. Saturday and into Sunday, we're looking at temperatures bumping up into the upper 80s, and I even think there's a chance for some of us to see 90 degrees. And we've seen 90 already this year. Remember that heat wave in the middle part of May? Well, there wasn't a lot of humidity with that. This one may feature more humidity, meaning heat index comes into the equation here, and we're talking about impacts from the heat. So something to keep in mind for your outdoor plans this weekend. Reminders to find ways to stay cool and stay hydrated. And then things change right after that. Next week, right back down into the 70s. So again, looking out for conditions that are going to be on the unsettled side as we continue on in the forecast here. We're looking out for that possibility for severe weather and the possibility for storms that could end up becoming more severe, or more likelihood of severe coming up on Friday, which is now a first alert weather day. So you can always check back with us right here on Valley News Live, on our social media pages, and of course our VNL weather app, a great tool to track storms as they develop and to get those alerts when they come in. In the meantime, enjoy the summertime warmth. Just make sure to keep an eye on the sky. Have a great day.